16 we go now, and there's some big bad boy bangers coming at you over in the knockout stages, including this one. Senegal, Ivory Coast. Who's going to go home? Who's going to go through? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks. Bombs Game, another prediction video. Today we're taking a look at, of course, the last 16 matches. That's right. And what a zinger we have. The champions. Don't forget, it's our hosts. It's Senegal. It's Ivory Coast. And we'll get to that in a second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for AFCON continues right here at Blackburn Rovers Seas. Of course, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe. And, of course, anyway, let's get into it. Of course, and have a little look as our 5-minute preview for this game starts off right about now, of course. So let's get into it between these two sides. It is Senegal, it is Ivory Coast, and it's coming at you on the 29th of January at the Charles Cullen Banny Stadium. That's right. But let's remind ourselves how we got to this stage. Of course, take a look at Senegal. Qualified as Group L winners, that's right. 28th of March 2023, it's their 17th finals. 2021 was their last when, of course, they were the champions. Of course, Aliou Cissé is your manager there. Sadio Mane, I'm putting him as the star man. 6-1 to go the distance at the start of the tournament, of course. Semi-finals was my prediction. But right now, they look the best side out there. I can't deny that. And, of course, I cannot deny that from looking at their records, of course. Look at it. Group C, perfect record. I think they're their only team in the AFCON with a 3-for-3, 100% success rate. Only one goal conceded in those first 3 matches. Of course, that was against Cameroon. But they disposed of Gambia on the opening day. 3-0 winners there. Then, of course, they took care of Cameroon, one of the heavy hitters and one of the favourites themselves for the title. And then dispatching of Guinea, who ain't no slouches, of course, in a very, very crazy Group C. It's been a crazy tournament, hasn't it? Let's remind ourselves of the key individuals for Senegal. Mendy between the 6. You've got Koulibaly, El Capitano there, Kouyaté, Nkante, Diatta, Mate Sarr, Mendy, Jacobs in the mix there, Diallo, Mane, and Sarr. That's, of course, an 11. Not necessarily the style 11, but it's a tasty looking 11. Let's take a look at Ivory Coast, then, of course, qualified as hosts and Group H runners-up. They secured their date on the 30th of January 2019. It's the 25th finals. 2021 was the last. They were champions back in 1992 and again in 2015. Jean-Louis Gasset was your manager, but Amos Faye has come in there to take over the reins because the gaffer quit, didn't he? Osama Diamande's your star man, 7-1 to go the distance. I did predict the last 16, till they get to the last 16, but I think that's where their journey's going to end. And of course, well, that's what I said back in the day. Of course, it's not been a great tournament for Ivory Coast, and basically have not put themselves in any decent position to qualify really deep into this competition. They did struggle. Well, actually, they kicked it off with a good win, 2-0 win over Guinea-Bissau. They lost to Nigeria, the Super Eagles, and they got spanked by Equatorial Guinea in the last match to put them on the brink of elimination. Who'd have thought that? But they, of course, they made it through, and now they'll take on Senegal for a spot in the quarterfinals, of course. But let's remind ourselves of the key personnel for Ivory Coast. Got Fofana between the sticks, Conan, Indika, Diamande, Aurier, Fofana, Sangare, Kessie, Adriganga, Hala, and Diakante up top. Those are the key individuals. What about, of course, the numbers then? Let's take a look at the numbers. Let's go back and look at the numbers. Now, these two sides have played each other 5 times. 2006, we got 2 wins for Senegal. We got 1 win for Ivory Coast. We got 2 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Senegal was a 1-0 win. In fact, they've just got 4 goals in those 5 games. 0.80 goals a game on ratio. Meanwhile, the same can be said for Ivory Coast. 3-1 win, their biggest. 4 goals in total, 0.80 goals a game on average as well. Ivory Coast, back-to-back defeats. 67% forward for them right now. Grim times, of course. Over the Senegal, though, 92% forward for them right now. Of course, haven't lost in the last 7 and got a winning streak of 4 games in a row. Now, these two sides did lock horns back in January 2023. It was a 1-0 win for Senegal. That was in the African Nations, I think, what was that, qualifying phase. Of course, so far so good though for Senegal. Goals coming from Kamara there. He's got top goal scorer for them with 2. Ivory Coast goals coming from Fofana and Crasso as well. Now, let's take a look at the bookies' odds for this one before we take a look at the public vote. The bookies' odds have Senegal 11-8 for the victory, 9-4 Ivory Coast. 2-1 is, of course, the draw, which means extra time and penalties. Now, take a look at the public vote. The public vote is out there for your leisure. Now, again, those numbers are likely to change over the next few days, but, of course, there it is in all its glory. Well, what about me then, folks? Of course, we take a look at the odds. We know about the public vote now. What about me, of course? Ivory Coast are the hosts. To be honest with you, they're lucky to be at this stage right here, right now. They could have been out, and that would have been embarrassing for the nation. Already embarrassing for the coach. He's already walked away, but I think Senegal have too much in the tank here. And again, this is a perfect fixture for them to showcase their talents as the favourites to go deep in this competition. Of course, favourites to win the title as well, to make it back-to-back wins. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 win for Senegal on that one. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about that down below. And of course, we look forward to seeing what we got in the next round, of course, which will be the quarterfinals. But until then, subscribe, thumbs up, catch you later for the next one. But until then, we're done.